Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Interviewing the Legends. I'm your host, Ray Shasho. Formed in 1991, Anekdoten is a Swedish progressive rock band. They are notable for the use of the mellotron and their heavy sound dominated by a pounding bass guitar. Their music is associated with the tradition of 1970s progressive rock, especially that of King Crimson. But in their newer albums, I actually hear a lot of Camel. Since 2015, the church guitarist Marty Willson-Piper has been touring with the band. Anekdoten are considered one of the leading bands in contemporary progressive rock. They're intensive, dark, dynamic, and for each subsequent release, more original music have also made an appeal among metal, goth, and post-rock fans all over the world. The group has released 5 studio albums on their own Verta label and 3 live albums in Japan. Their debut album, Viamood, was released in 1993 and caused a considerable stir within the Prog community. The success of the debut album opened for both a first European and American tour in 1994. The band's most recent release, entitled Until All the Ghosts Are Gone, rumor has it, and I hope this is right, that they're currently working on a brand new album. Nicklas Barker released a solo album called Epitasis in 2022. Please welcome guitarist, vocalist, songwriter, and keyboardist Nicklas Barker and vocalist, bass player Jan-Erik Liljestrom of the Swedish progressive rock band Anekdoten to Interviewing the Legends. Hello, guys.
Hello.
How's the weather in Sweden?
It's rain and shine.
Rain and shine. Is that normal for this time of year?
Yeah, typical when you start your holidays.
Of course.
That's when it starts raining.
You know, I am starting to realize that all the best music is in Scandinavia and the Netherlands. I've been interviewing like crazy, all these prog bands from those areas, and they're the only ones that are putting out, fantastic new albums, man. And I'm enjoying it. I think I'm going to move over there.
Well, maybe you have better weather in Florida.
Yeah, it's hot though. It's always hot.
Maybe it's too hot.
I just had on the show Edo from Flamborough Ahead, and we had recently Jonas Lindberg from the other side. Do you know Jonas?
Not me.
No.
Really? He's from Sweden.
Yes.
He's another prog guy. He's got a lot of good stuff out there as well. So, yes. Yeah, Sweden's really kicking ass.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it seems like there's a bit of things happening still after all these years, in this country.
Yeah, I love prog music. I mean, I love it more than anything. And I'm so disappointed that prog isn't as big as it should be, especially on commercial radio. How do you feel about that? I know you guys, first of all, you guys haven't put out an album in a long time. What's up with that?
Well, that's the question. We had the pandemic happening, and then we had the occasional gigs, and we have been rehearsing for them, and then we have been talking about working with the new music, and this is getting closer and closer, but we haven't gotten around doing that. So that's what will happen this autumn, I think.
I hope so.
We will have a band meeting and discuss the plans for the rest of the year. So
yeah, the pandemic slowed down a lot of people. It took them off course. It really did.
Yeah. And we
But,
felt we wanted to do, when we got offered a few gigs, we wanted to do them and see if we could still do it. And now I think we have positive yes for that, because I think we had good response when we've done the gigs. So we feel confident about that.
Good. Yeah, 2015. That's when Until All the Ghosts Are Gone came out. But Nicklas has a solo album out that just came out recently. So that's, and I love it too, by the way. It's really great.
Oh, thank you.
I'm going to talk about that, but first I want to talk about it Until All the Ghosts Are Gone. Okay. Here's what I said about it. Spellbinding, dreamscape, mesmerizing, enchanting, ambient, a truly sensational progressive rock masterpiece. And I really mean that. And that album is terrific. You guys are an incredible band. You really are.
Yeah, we're happy about the way it turned out. It took a long time to finish, but it was great when it got out.
How long did it take?
Wasn't it like 2 years or?
Well, not like recording every day, but I think
no,
we recorded it in 2 parts. Actually, we recorded like 4 songs in the autumn and 3 more songs in the spring, I think. And then we sort of like recorded, the basic tracks in a studio on tape, actually, and then we just transferred it to continue working at home and in our studio, our own studio, Pro Tools. So when you start working like that, it takes time, because you're like, you wake up in the morning and you go to the computer and you listen to what you did. Maybe I can do it better. Then you change things. Like, well, I mean, back in the first album, we went into the studio and recorded it in like, what about a few days? Did the mixing. You recorded 3 songs during a day, and then you did the mixing in the afternoon. Then you went for a beer.
It was a big difference when you had to pay for the studio cost, and we couldn't afford doing it slowly back then. But it had its advantages that something happened, because when you have all the time in the world, then it takes time, and then we have our daytime jobs and families and stuff. So it was a bit of a puzzle to to get that one done.
Yeah, but that first album, the first album is incredible. That's a great album, really is.
Yeah, I think we did it with From Within. It's a little bit the same. Nicklas took third album. Nicklas was another album which we sort of like we're working in the studio and at home,
right?
And they put in a tremendous amount of work on that one. But when we recorded From Within again, I think we were in the studio for a few days, and then a few days of overdubs, and then a few days of mixing it.
Maybe that's the way we're gonna do the next album, so something gets done.
Now, who engineered the last album and who produced it?
I think it was recorded. Let me think. It was recorded by Hans Fredriksson, who is usually our mastering guy nowadays, and he works with us in live, doing our front of house sound as well, on occasions. He was the one that recorded it, and then we recorded it ourselves at home.
The overdubs,
yes, and produced and it was mixed by Simon Nordberg, who has been mixed most of our albums, I think, except one, maybe 2. Yeah.
The sound is incredible.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It really is.
Yeah.
They did a great job, man.
Yeah, it turned out well.
Yeah. Talk about the cover and the name of the album. Is there any, particular reason?
We had one song that we didn't know what to call, and it had the lyrics "Until All the Ghosts Are Gone."
Right.
So at first I asked Nicklas, "Don't you think this could be a good title for the song?" And he agreed on that. And then when we had the title, we started thinking about what kind of cover we could find, and there is this supposedly haunted house in the Swedish archipelago, that had been used a little bit for videos and stuff. We didn't know that at the time, but we found out that it had been used for other things. So we just approached the people that owned the house at the time, and they agreed for us to do a photo shoot there.
Very cool. It kind of reminds me, I think Black Sabbath had kind of an album cover like that too.
Yeah,
it had that similar house, right?
That's been influential for us. Also, the first album has a little bit the same vibe. So
right, exactly.
We keep returning to these haunted houses.
That's okay. That's what makes great music, those kind of stories.
Yeah.
I love the album, and I love the lyrics. Shooting Star, it was one of my favorites. Kind of started out as a kind of a fusion intro. The lyrics, hold on, the king will come. Patience, my little child. Time will go on your side. Hope's gone for those who dared to walk out all alone. Love it. Love those lyrics. You guys did a wonderful job on
Thank you.
Both the music and the lyrics. Some of the other songs on the album, I kind of, like Get Out Alive. Who's singing on that album, on that track?
It's me singing.
Is that you? Really?
Yes, it is. Yes. Yeah. I sing on all songs except one.
Okay.
Yeah. Jan-Erik sings Writing on the Wall.
Writing on the Wall?
The rest is me.
It reminds me a little bit of Pink Floyd and Camel a little bit. I hear a little bit of the Camel sounds.
Yeah.
Because of the flute, I guess, because you hear the flute in a lot of the tracks too.
Yes. Yeah, I haven't been listening. I think I have 2 Camel records, but when I listen to them now, it's like coming home. Right. It's like something I would have wanted to do or could have been involved in, because it's one of these bands that you discover later in your life, and just like, wow.
I still haven't discovered them. That's good. There's still things to discover.
Well, it's Camel is. I listen to them quite a lot these days. Especially the first album and Mirage.
Yeah, Lady Fantasy, one of the best songs. Yeah.
Yes.
It's funny. Back in the day, the way you picked records were from album covers. And we don't have that satisfaction anymore,
No.
That's how I picked Camel, actually. I think it was, Mirage. I said, wow, this looks pretty cool, and yeah. Love the album.
Yeah, often you've picked the right albums by looking at the covers as well.
Exactly right. Yeah. It was, of course, Roger Dean with all those Yes albums. Yeah. You couldn't go wrong. So Get Out Alive is one of my favorites as well. I like every song on this album, man. It's incredible. If It All Comes Down to You, that is a great song. Talk a little bit about that song. I love the way the electric guitar is introduced into the song, but it's mesmerizing and hypnotic. All the great things you get from a prog music, which I love. So talk about some of the tracks and some of your favorite tracks on the album.
Well, we can start about If It All Comes Down to You, but I think it was something that I brought the main idea
right
to the rehearsal room, and I thought it was just checking. I will throw this away, shouldn't I? This
really?
Is shit.
Really?
Yeah, he wasn't that convinced.
No. Then Peter said, "No, this is great," and he just wanted to play that one, and I wanted to do others. We wanted to do other things, but I remember he was, that this is a great song. Then we recorded like a rough demo of it with which is, I don't think it's much like, maybe the parts come in the same order as on the final version, so to say, but then we decided to I think Peter sent it to old sound guy Jussi in Finland, and he also said that this is a great song. But I myself, I haven't, at that time understood.
Are you guys kind of hard on yourself with music? I mean, does it take you? Yeah.
Insecure, I would say.
Yeah. Probably that.
All great musicians are that way.
Yeah, so the lesson to be learned is to do it and to see what happens.
Yes.
And not.
Yes. Just to do it in one take, man. Enjoy it.
And then I think Theo Travis flute adds a lot to the magic as well.
Yeah, that was cool to have him, huh?
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
It was very close. We didn't. I mean, that was like an instant thing that just came up.
Right.
Because I did see a post of him on Facebook, I think, which he said of something that he was touring with the Soft Machine or something.
Right.
And I said, maybe this should be flute here. Who should I ask? Oh, Theo. So I sent him a message. He answered like in 1 minute.
That's nice.
Then we just agree on the fee, and I sent him the track.
Well, that's because you guys got a great reputation. That's probably why you did it and answered you so quick.
Yeah, he knew us actually, so that was nice.
Yeah. For those guys that don't know about Theo, of course, you played with King Crimson. He played with Steven Wilson. And you also had, is it Per Weiberg? Is that how you pronounce his name? From Opeth? He used to play with Opeth, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he goes back a long time. He's an old friend from the 80s.
And Marty, does he still play with you guys from the church?
He wasn't on the last gigs that we did, but it depends on how we can make it work. He has been very busy in America producing lately, so
you're a band that
whenever
can bring in a lot of guest artists. Mm-hmm.
Whenever he can do it, it's great to have him on board, because it's especially on the songs from the latest album, because it's sort of like a 2-guitar album.
Right.
It's lots of guitar on that one.
The guitar's incredible too. Yeah.
It's a bit difficult to pull things off on certain songs anyway, with only one guitar. Works, but
can you perform all these songs on this album live?
Probably if we put our mind to it, but we haven't done the title track. We've never done.
Really?
No, really. No, we haven't done that. The other ones we have played. If it all comes down a few times, actually, which is a bit
only a few times.
Weird, because it's by far the most successful song on Spotify, for instance, with like way over 1.5 million plays.
Wow.
but it's sort of like it needs like to have a flute player. So whenever we have a flute player around, we can play it. We did it with Theo in Italy a few years ago, actually.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we have what else do we have? But most of the other songs we played.
Yeah. All the other songs we played. No. So now our challenge for this year was to learn all the songs on the first album and be able to do them, because we had a 30-year anniversary for VMwood. So
congratulations.
It was possible. So it will be possible to do until it goes gone as well. Yeah.
You guys are too good not to be out there touring. You know that?
Thank you.
I'm going to be your manager. I'm going to crack the whip.
Yeah, we might need one. It's so easy for us to just let time fly by.
I know, and it goes by so quickly too.
Yeah,
that's true.
It's hard to believe, man. I'm telling you. Writing on the wall. The writing on the wall, Babylon will not escape the fall, knew we could not stay, had to find a way to leave it all behind. Once we thought that we could have it all, even thought we could make a deal with God, so we would never die. I mean, beautiful lyrics, great lyrics, man. How do How do you guys get inspired by lyrics like this? Where does it come from?
I said that it's Jan-Erik who needs to answer that. He writes all the lyrics.
Yeah, nowadays it's been like that, but I actually find it quite hard to come up with things to write about. I think if we look at the output that we have had, you should be brimming with ideas and just waiting for songs. But I don't know. With Shooting Star, I've always loved Ronnie James Dio, and particularly Stargazer was an eye-opener for me to get into progressive rock, and I wanted to do some kind of homage for him,
right,
and do something a little bit in that style.
Well, you succeeded.
And Babylon is probably also from Gates of Babylon or something, but I like the kind of that they can be like a little bit like fairy tales or quite yeah, so you can interpret them in different ways.
Sure. That's the main thing is when you write lyrics and you don't come out and say this is how it should be interpreted and that's it, because people like to interpret these lyrics their own way, and that's the beauty about it.
So I tend to write with question marks instead of saying this is how it is. It's like
exactly. Love
get
it.
people to think, hopefully.
Love it. And you wrote, this title is amazing, Our Days Are Numbered, and you did that before the pandemic.
Do you know where I found that? That was in a Blue Oyster Cult song in the vigil from Mirrors. I was listening to that, and Buck Dharma was singing Our Days Are Numbered. I thought, wow, that's great. I haven't thought about that.
Pre-pandemic, man.
Yeah, and it was the song was so apocalyptic, so I thought this would suit that song.
It's a great jam. It really is.
Yeah.
Fantastic jam. Yeah. And I just want to mention too, Until All the Ghosts Are Gone. That's another, great title for a lyric. And again, I love the lyrics. Walk through the hidden door where life is flown. Hold me and don't let go with all the ghosts are gone. Seems the walls are crumbling from within. The roof above is starting to fall in. It sounds like oh my God, like a Dickens poem or something,
Yeah, or Edgar Allan Poe or something.
Edgar Allan Poe, exactly. Yeah. Wow. That's great, man. You're a great lyricist.
Thank you.
I agree. I really like Jan-Erik's lyrics.
You should see the sketches. It's not that impressive, but you keep working at it until you're happy. Then hopefully it works.
I know the feeling. I'm an author. I've written several books, and you keep writing, rewrite. That's what it's all about.
Yes.
Can't let it drive you crazy though. Eventually you got to stop.
Yes, it's good to have some limit to it, but it's definitely, usually it gets better, if you
yes,
something
exactly.
If you keep it rough, but it's it's well worked through, so to say.
Right. Prog bands usually they're big on the festival circuit. Do you guys have any plans on a fest to perform at any festivals upcoming, or not yet?
We have a few planned, but nothing that has been carved in stone really. But we will try to do some more shows mostly in Sweden, I think, this autumn to celebrate the VMwood thing, because we've been rehearsing like crazy to get all those songs into our memory again. So we would like to do a few more shows with that, and then
good.
We have some plans for next year as well, but we can't go public with them yet.
I want to talk now about And again, epictasis, that's, it's a, which means the word refers to our ever increasing capacity for growth. It is a loving God in eternity. That's the explanation I got from it when I looked it up. That is an incredible, totally different. I mean, it's a hit. Here's what I said about it. And I also gave it 5 stars. It's a hypnotic state of musical genius. How about that?
Yeah, I agree.
It's a great project, man. I love it.
Me too.
Oh,
thank
man. You. And you call it, is it minimal music? You can call it, is minimal music a lot like ambient and new age music? Would you say they're very similar?
Yes, I could say that. It's I was with my with my partner that I live with, Sophie. We made an album 2 years ago with something that we started, recording things like this. We have been doing that for a few years, and this is some parts of this is my things that were supposed to be on the Cosmogon album but never made it there, so to say, because I have hours of this kind of music. And then I sort of had this idea to make so it would sound a little bit like an old electronic soundtrack from some obscure movie. 60s movie or something, 70s movie.
You should be doing soundtracks,
I actually have made one soundtrack back in the days for a Spanish horror movie back in 2011.
Oh, cool.
It didn't give me more jobs though, so I don't know if I screwed it. But this is later years I've been into lots of electronic and minimalistic music. Especially things, that's more to the classical avant-garde things.
Right.
60s stuff and minimalistic stuff like Lamonte Young and Terry Riley. So.
Who's amazing? Lamonte Young.
Lamonte Young.
He's a pioneer, and you can't find his music. It's very difficult.
Yes,
I did find some things on YouTube, but it's it's very hard to find.
He's not like on any stream on the platforms for streaming or anything like that. I actually visited Lamonte Young's house, his dream house in New York, on Lower Manhattan, a few years ago.
Really?
And you had to ring the doorbell, and then his son came down and opened and let you up. And then on the 3rd, 4th floor, the son was sitting there, and you have to pay him like $10 to get in.
Really?
And he was selling like these Lamonte Young CDs from the 90s.
Wow.
Like in really bad, and DVDs in really bad conditions, like hilarious amounts. Like the CD was like $60 or something like that.
Oh,
and it looks
gosh.
like you can't buy this one, but it was, of course, it's a hard to find CD.
Yeah.
But then you went into these 2 huge rooms where everything was pink, and there was like this very loud drones in there. You can sit down there for like how long you wanted if you only paid the $10. So, but I never got the chance to meet him myself, only his son. But he was ahead of his time.
Very ahead of his time. Yeah. I probably would have bought his CDs because they'll probably be worth a lot of money one day. You think?
Yes, I noticed that when I got back home, and I had some extra copies of one CD that I bought many years ago, and could sell it. I sold it on Discogs like in 1 second.
Right. Yeah, he was incredible. I grew up, of course, I listened to a lot of Tangerine Dream. I discovered Larry Fast, from Synergy.
Yes.
Who did a lot. He's kind of a pioneer as well. And of course, Brian Eno. I mean, the list goes on. But you know, you do a marvelous job on this album. I love it.
Thank you.
And the only thing, the titles are very hard to pronounce.
Yeah.
But I
You
think
try
I've done
to
a
find
good
this
job.
difficult. You try to find this, since I'm not a lyricist or something like that, or a poet. I try to find words that look cool.
You guys always
So
do that, though. Every prog artist I've run into do the same thing. You know, I mean, look at ELP, all the words the titles they've used. But I think I translated them okay. Like the first track, you pronounce that. Go ahead.
First track of my solo album,
Yeah.
Epiktasis. Himlarymderna.
Wow. That means heavenly spaces, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, well, does it? You don't use? It's not like, what do you say, Jan Erik? Heavenly? No, maybe not.
That's the translation I got on that one.
Okay, yeah. Heavenly spaces. It's okay. It means
okay.
more. Yeah, it's a bit poetic thing about space.
Right. Speaking of space, it's very spacey, very ambient. I love it.
Yeah.
The second track, Offret, which means, is that the sacrifice? Is that the
yes?
Okay.
Sort of like from the Bergman movie.
You know, your titles and the music go hand in hand. It's weird. The music does sound like the title of the tracks. You did a great job doing that. Like that Offret sounded very spiritual, and it sounded very celestial, you know. And I heard a little bit of Pink Floyd echoes in that one, and also on the third track, which was really cool.
Yeah, it's a bit of Pink Floyd there. Pink Floyd were ahead of their time as well.
Oh yeah,
because
definitely.
Without Pink Floyd, there wouldn't be in any Can.
Yep.
There wouldn't be in a Tangerine Dream. No Klaus Schulze, because they were just 6 months ahead all the time.
Yeah, I agree. People give the Beatles so much credit, and you got to give Pink Floyd equal credit, in my opinion. You know.
Yeah, because you can't hear what are Pink Floyd's influences.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's true.
You can where were the early Tangerine Dream influences? You can figure that out,
Yeah.
But and Can as well. They were listening to Jimi Hendrix and Velvet Underground and things like that, but they took it a bit further.
Yep.
But Pink Floyd, I don't know what's their influences.
That's a good question. That's a very good question. We got to look that up.
They were original, I think.
They were original. Yes. I think you're right on that. Celestial Mechanics. That's the third track. That's right. That the Celeste Mechanic, right? Which is yep. That's the third track, which is a little spooky in a way. The music felt a little spooky, which I loved.
Yes.
Yep. The track that was really felt like the song matched the track was the fourth track. You go ahead and you pronounce it. Is it Morkret? Pa?
Mörkret.
Mörkret.
Mörkret. Yeah.
Which I think the translation was Darkness on the Mountain. Is that correct? Am I close?
Mörkret på berget. Yeah, it's called Mörkret på berget. Yes, it's darkness on the
Because the music sounds exactly like that. It sounded like Darkness on the Mountain.
Yeah, but what's referring? I read its text, which was a bit like this. They translated some old Jewish text about alternative text to when Moses went up in the mountain, like 5,000 years ago or something like that, and that he experienced nothing. There was nothing there. So that's why I got it was totally dark and no sounds, nothing.
Oh wow, very interesting.
And when he came down, his face was glowing.
Right.
Or he had horns. So that's what I had in mind when I did that song. Actually, I think I had the title before I actually made it.
Huh.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Build the music around a title. Yeah.
Yeah.
That does make sense. Track 5 is Klingande. How do you pronounce that one?
Klingande solar.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that translation to chime? Klingande, is that to chime?
Yes,
yeah.
chiming suns, maybe.
Right.
I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. And Clara Skyar or clear clouds. The
Yes.
6. Yeah.
Clear.
That's another one.
Open skies, maybe.
Open
it's
skies.
Better.
Okay. Yes. That's where the music also sounds like the title track.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's a little bit more uplifting than the rest of the music.
You know, the world needs to hear this music, man. I'm so tired of commercial radio. You know, all you hear, I don't know about Sweden, but here all you hear is, like the Taylor Swifts and the stupid dance music and the pop music. Mm-hmm. It's just crap. It really is. I can't take it anymore.
Sorry. Yeah. Well, I don't know what to do about it, really. But
it's been going on for so long, and then rap music, which has been around a long time. I was a DJ back in the late 70s.
Oh,
and
really?
I played one of the first commercial rap songs, which was Sugar Hill Gang, Rapper's Delight. And that was in 1979. So they've been around a long time,
Yeah, that's got lots of old good rap music, I think, when they were doing things with primitive tape cassette recorders and samplers and
well, rap turned into kind of gangster type music, and then it got out of control, which is a shame because it started out okay, You said the anniversary of Viamud. Viamud, does that mean sadness? Am I right on that?
Yeah.
Translation?
Pensive melancholy or something.
Melancholy? Okay.
Yeah.
That came out in actually 1993. You guys been around a long time.
Yeah. The years go by.
30 years. Yeah.
That's a great album too, and one song, and I see when they mention King Crimson about you guys, I can hear the King Crimson in the first album. The later album, I don't hear as much. I heard more of maybe a little bit of a Camel and Pink Floydish type influence, but I do hear a lot of King Crimson in the first album, like in Wheel.
Me and Nicklas, we met at a party in 1990, I think, and we started talking about trying to do King Crimson songs.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it started. So we did one gig as a cover band doing some mostly the Wetton period.
The Wetton era.
King Crimson. Yeah. So that's where we started out, and then we why don't we try to do own stuff in that same vein? And the songs came easily. I think it was very inspired time.
But you guys have your own sound. You don't really,
Yeah, we listen to a lot of different music, as you can hear.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You definitely have your own sound for sure.
But back then, I think we were a bit possessed by the King Crimson sound.
I like that, possessed.
Yeah.
I think my favorite song on that album is "The Old Man in the Sea." I really like that. That's a great track. Yeah. That's got to sound great live.
Yeah, it's one of these songs that I still enjoy playing live.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was actually.
I like the lyrics and this feel of it. It's like it's a bit different from the rest of our repertoire for some reason.
Right.
And it has a beginning and an end.
Exactly.
Which is it really ties things together really good.
Yeah, it was actually very fun to to get back to those old songs again.
Mm-hmm.
You approach them a bit differently, but I think in some ways you can relate to them better now. Some songs like The Old Man and the Sea, you can feel like the old man in the story. So when you sing it, yeah, that's me.
how now if you go on tour and you bring this album back, okay, I mean, are you going to play the whole album like Pink Floyd does with Dark Side of the Moon, or how are you going to do it?
We did that in Quebec in May. That was our last gig, and then we said, okay, now we're on our roll, now we're going to get going. And then summer came, and yeah, we haven't really met since then, but that was the plan, to do a few more gigs.
We played it from first song to the last song, didn't we? Yeah, more or less.
Love that.
Yeah.
It's just like sitting there. It's like sitting there with headphones on in the audience, you know.
We did.
I think that's awesome. Yeah.
We even did Longing, which is
the bonus track.
Yes, and the bonus track, Sad Rain.
Sad Rain, right? That's a good song. Yeah. Great vocals on that one, on Sad Rain.
Yes.
Excellent, man.
Thank you.
I just
That's Nicklas lyrics.
Yes.
You wrote that, huh? Yeah.
Yeah,
that is
Nick from Little there.
From beginning to.
Actually, that's the first. When I finally found a mellotron that worked here in Sweden. That was the first thing I wrote on Jan Erik's Porta studio, actually, which I borrowed at the time. And it's good because I found just 2 weeks ago, we found that first recording. We thought it was lost, the first demo of that one.
Right.
So, and it was, maybe not that's worked through, but it was quite good for being like just a demo made in my bedroom at my mom's place.
Wow, really? It's amazing.
Yeah, we're out of Vemod CD, so we're actually thinking about doing something special when we get around to release it again. And include some of these old demos.
Well, I'm gonna hound you guys for getting out there and getting the job done, man. Because your music's too good just to be sitting around. We need you guys. The world needs you.
Yes.
That's good to know. Sometimes we forget about that.
We forgot about that.
Oh man, we need good music. We need proficient artists. Guys that actually can play their instruments and write their own music. And artists like you guys. We need you. We really do. All the legends are dying out. We're not going to have Pink Floyd and Camel and those guys anymore. They're going to be gone.
Yeah.
You're the next generation, right?
I read that Paul McCartney was. I think Ringo Starr's 83 today.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's unbelievable.
And Paul McCartney.
Happy birthday,
81.
Ringo!
Yeah, Ringo's birthday. He looks great too. He really takes good care of himself.
Wonderful.
Yeah, even Paul.
Amazing.
Paul looks good too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really amazing.
They're real heroes in our book.
Yeah.
Well, actually, David Gilmour and Roger Waters don't look too bad either for their age. David's putting on some weight, but that's understandable at his age. Yeah. We all do that.
I can relate to that.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to lose weight when you get older.
Yeah.
One song on the album I liked also was Thoughts in Absence. You know who that reminded me of a little bit? Gentle Giant. Kind of a Gentle Giant feel to it. Who sang that?
On Vemod, it was just me singing because Nicklas felt that he had so much to think about playing
the music,
the tricky guitar parts and the mellotrons, and so he asked on the first demo he was singing more, but then he asked me to sing for better or worse, so it's just me on the first album. But this is also Nicklas lyrics and Nicklas song.
Also Nicklas lyrics. I like how you guys traded back and forth like that. Also with the vocals. You guys have known each other for a long time now, huh?
Yeah.
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 How far away do you live from each other?
We live in Stockholm, all of us right now.
Okay.
So, and it's not the biggest city in the world. So we live, just a few kilometers from each other.
And we still, we have our rehearsal studio, so we can just.
Perfect.
I think it's important to just not trade files and work like that, to meet and to do stuff together. So that's, I think, a factor.
I agree with
that you have to take into account, because that's missing from a lot of music that you hear today. You can hear that it's not really that organic. So we try to keep that.
Most of the bands I've been interviewing lately, that's what they do. They trade files because they live so far away from each other.
Yeah.
They have no choice, I guess. Like Big Train. Guys one guy's in the United States, the other guys are overseas. I guess it's expensive. Yeah.
But I kind of like when you hear that bands just went into the studio and
Me too.
recorded the basic tracks.
Me too.
Without any click tracks, because they just do things, and then they made a few overdubs. I mean, it doesn't happen that often nowadays, but I kind of miss that kind of sound in modern productions, so to say.
Okay, your next album, I want you guys to book Abbey Road.
Yeah.
In England.
We have a few really good studios here in Stockholm, actually.
Do you?
Classic studios that that ABBA used. That well, we even have, Led Zeppelin recorded here in Sweden.
Oh, cool.
Back in the day.
Here's a weird question for you. Whatever happened to Ace of Base?
No idea. They got filthy rich.
And that was it. They retired, huh?
Yes, I think they did retire.
That was my
some story some years ago about one of the girls that were harassed by some lunatic. That's
really.
Yeah.
Huh. That was my daughter's favorite band when she was young.
They were huge.
Yeah. Like all electronic, I think, right? Electronic music, basically. Yeah. All right. Here's a couple of questions that'll end the interview. What was your first concert that you attended, both of you?
The first big concert in Stockholm, that was Rainbow in 1981 on the Drift of the Cure.
Richie Blackmore
tour for me.
Yeah.
And that was like I thought, wow, I want to do this.
Yeah. Who was singing?
Who was
singing at the time, did you?
That was Jolene Turner back then.
Okay,
so I'm
Turner.
too young to have been in on the Dio days.
Right. How about you, Nicklas?
It must have been 84. Yes, 80. But I mean, the proper, real, big, huge concert. Iron Maiden and Motley Crue, 1984.
Oh wow!
Iron Maiden on the Power Slave tour, and Motley Crue on the the Black Album. I forgot the name of that one, but it was a great show. Both bands were incredible. Yes. And it was the first show. I was 15 or something like that, and it was the first show I, went to when they took out the lights and then the band was on.
Yeah,
and everybody was sold out concert with proper, seeing Iron Maiden in '84. They were, incredibly good players. I think it was the second tour with Nico McBrain on drums. And they were really onto it.
Go ahead.
Motley Crue was also they were in good condition,
right?
So to say. A few years later, when I saw them, they were like terrible.
Yeah.
But that was my first show. Yeah.
Oh,
yours?
Go ahead.
What was your first show?
Oh my God, 1971.
Ah,
Yeah, I'm a little older than you guys.
yeah.
It was Jose Feliciano and Curtis Mayfield.
Wow. Wow. Jeez.
The second
Wow,
concert was Santana.
cool. Yeah, I wish I was a little bit older. You look at all the things you could have seen in the 70s. It's
Well,
incredible.
the concert tickets when I went to concert, the standard prices were $650, $550, and $450.
Yeah,
And you normally saw three bands, like you would see
yeah,
Jay Giles, Peter Frampton, and UFO. You know, that was like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Good value for money.
oh yeah. I paid $9 to see the Rolling Stones in front row center.
Wow.
Front row
Oh,
center.
wow.
Yeah.
Incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. Goat's Head Soup Tour, I think it was.
Oh.
When Angie came out.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen a lot of concerts, man.
Yeah, that's good.
What's the music scene like in Sweden? Is it good or bad? I mean, it sucks here.
well, we have lots of successful bands, I would
Right.
say, like commercial bands like Ghost and
Ghost, yeah, the Ghost is good.
Sara Larsson. What else do we have?
Yeah, there are a lot of so it's if you look at the size of Sweden, then it's quite incredible that we all artists and bands coming out from here.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
Norway's got some good
like,
music too. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to like, music that you listen to, it of course there's always good, local bands that you see, and
Yeah.
maybe some
Yeah.
but it's like it's always been,
Mm-hmm.
it's been like this forever. There's always good bands, and always,
You got to find them.
Yeah,
you
that's the
gotta
problem.
you just need to take time and find them.
Yeah.
Go to concerts, go and
Yeah.
check out local bands when they play in a bar or something.
I
But you
listen
don't do that.
to you probably listen to them too. Moro.com from France. You listen to Moro.com, Morow. They play your
No,
music.
no.
They
Oh,
play
really?
your music. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They play all Prague.
Okay.
It's all only a Prague station.
Oh,
And they
really?
play a lot of new Prague music.
That's great.
Okay. Yeah,
I get a lot of my interviews from them, as a matter of fact. When I hear something I like, I get in touch with them and bring them on the show. By the way, the Scandinavian countries are getting, I mean, here in the United States, we're in awe of you guys. You're like you're classified as the happiest people in the world.
Yeah.
Especially compared to us, man. We're really having our issues here.
Yeah,
Everybody's in a bad mood.
Oh yeah. It's a lot of, we have a bit of that here in Sweden as well,
We just don't hear
and
about it.
I think Americans like Sweden right now because the Swedish currency dropped enormously the latest. So it's very cheap to go for Americans.
Oh wow, really? I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
So it's we are in Canada, and
Yeah.
2 months ago or something like that.
Right.
I couldn't imagine how expensive things were for us, coming there. So
exactly.
I think it's welcome to Sweden. It's
definitely.
Great to live here. And we need a lot of labor here as well. It's hard to find, educated people at the moment.
Is it hard to become a citizen there, like from the United States? Are they tough on foreigners or?
Yes, it's tough on foreigners now, but I don't think if it's not a problem if you're like, become a citizen. It's difficult.
Right,
but
right.
You can get a working permit if you're an American. Anyway,
yeah,
with an education.
Yeah, my wife actually has a Scandinavian background. We did
really?
a search on the DNA thing, and most of her background was from Scandinavia.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that can be cool.
That would be cool. Definitely.
Yeah.
All right. Here's your final question.
Yep.
If you had a wish, and I always refer to the movie Field of Dreams because it's my favorite movie, and they got, Doc Graham got a wish in that movie. If you had a wish to perform, collaborate with anyone from the past or present, who would that be?
Past.
Past or present?
Okay, past or present.
Be thinking, Jan.
Yeah, I would like to record some more things with Reine Fiske, the guitarist from. He's an old friend of ours as well.
Okay.
He's a guitarist in Dungen,
right,
and Motorpsycho and some other bands. He's one of my favorite guitarists of the amazing. Yeah, he's one of my favorite guitarists of all time. So I would say Reine.
Good answer.
I'm gonna phone him tonight.
Yeah.
Ask him.
For the next album, you think?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Or something.
Okay. How about you, Jan?
And if we can get Theo on board for the next one as well to add some of his magical touches, that would be great. I think he's top-notch player actually. It's so fun to have that they can. You feel like we've said, we don't have that confidence in ourselves, but then when you get someone like that to perform with you, and it's really cool.
All right, I want you guys to stop that. No confidence in yourself. Stop it. You guys are great musicians, man. I wish I could play like you guys. I play some guitar, but when I hear people like you, it's like I'm blown away,
Thank you.
How many keyboards do you have at home? In Moog synthesizers? Do you have a lot of equipment, Nicklas?
Well, at the moment, there's I have some Moog synthesizers, a bunch of smaller ones.
Right.
I have a Fender Rhodes piano and an organ, Corey organ. I have a piano, and what else do I have? Well, I have one old mellotron from 1973 and two
cool.
digital ones.
Very cool.
Two digital ones, the newer ones, and what else do I have? Yeah, an ARP synth. Well, it's I've started buying things again,
right,
the last year, which I should stop.
Everybody says that.
If you get into synthesizers nowadays, they're so cheap, so you can. There's so many cheap alternatives, so you could easily buy one synth a month on a reasonable salary.
I always pictured the Keith Emerson setup. Man, it was incredible. I talked to Keith before he passed away, and we talked about California Jam, and he had that piano that went around in circles.
Yeah.
If you go to his Wikipedia page, you'll see my conversation with Keith Emerson.
Oh, really?
Yeah, very interesting. He was a good guy. As a matter of fact, I interviewed everybody from ELP.
Oh.
Greg Lake, another good guy. They were nice guys, really, really nice guys, very talented. All right, so what's next for Anekdoten? You're gonna be working on an album.
Yep.
You're gonna look for some gigs, right?
Yes.
Anything else? Any more solo albums? Jan, you gonna put out a solo album too?
I'm recording by myself, and it's actually quite fun. So who knows?
Yeah, because you're a great lyricist. You have a great vocals. Why not?
Yeah, why not? You can't just let time fly by.
No,
not do anything.
Exactly. It's going too fast, you guys.
Yeah.
Let's get on the stick.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Agree.
I want to mention you can purchase Until All the Ghosts Are Gone, which is 5 stars. I love the album. It's incredible. To me, it's a classic already. It's already a classic. And I believe it's on Amazon, or you can go to your website, right? To buy that.
Yep.
Yep.
And also, your solo album is also available.
Well, it's not. It's mostly on Bandcamp, I would say.
Bandcamp, right?
That's where you. I don't have an own homepage or something like that, but you can
Nicklas
even buy them on
Bandcamp. Yep.
Yeah.
And we'll post all the links for you.
Web shop.
We'll post all the
great.
all the links for you. But the name of the album is actually Epitasis, but it's for mellotron, ARP, Odyssey, and Slagwerk. Is that how you pronounce it?
Percussion.
Percussion. Yes. It's a great album. Another 5-star review from me, man. It's incredible. You guys are on Facebook. You got the Bandcamp. You're on Twitter, and I'm gonna post all your discography as well, all your studio albums, to date, and of course you got your live albums, which is cool. I didn't get a chance to listen to the live album yet from Japan. Were you guys big in Japan? Pretty big in Japan?
Yeah, we were lucky to have a good distributor in Tokyo, Disc Union. So that really worked well for us. Yeah.
Is there a shot for you guys coming back to the US? What do you think?
Yeah, I hope so, really.
I hope so, yeah.
Well, if I can help you in any way to find some gigs, I'm in Florida. I can definitely find you gigs in Florida.
Okay.
I know a lot of promoters.
We were at Nearfest at 2000, I think. That was the last time.
Okay.
So it's been a while.
Yeah.
We miss the USA, so that would be great.
Well, get your management together. If you need some good PR in the United States, I can help you out there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Whatever you need. Keep in touch, guys. All right?
Yes.
We will.
Thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate it. You guys are wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ray. It was nice talking to you.
Good talking to you too, man.
Yeah.
Keep doing what you're doing. Take care.
Yeah.
Take
care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.